I'm headed out from the Devil's Garden Trailhead here in Arches National Park today, out for the full loop, which is listed at about 8 miles or 12.5 kilometers. My previous experience tells me that that's wrong and it'll be quite a bit more than that. I'll let you know what I get when I get to the end, but if you can't commit to quite that much, you can visit Tunnel Arch, Pine Tree Arch, and Landscape Arch in about 2.5 miles or 4 kilometers round trip. Just about a quarter mile in, you'll reach the spur off for Tunnel Arch and Pine Tree Arch to your right here. If you're just headed up the Landscape Arch, it's just about 2 miles or 3 kilometers round trip. The little trip over here to Pine Tree and Tunnel Arch adds about a half mile. You get down here to the T intersection, Pine Tree's going to be off to your left, Tunnel Arch will be off to your right. This little segment is an in and out stretch, so you'll just head right back out the same way you came in. Swing over and see Tunnel Arch if you didn't already. And here we are coming to Tunnel Arch. You really don't have to walk quite clear down here to see it, but just kind of a hole up through the rock there. We're continuing on north here up towards Landscape Arch. It's going to be about at 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers on up there. And off here in the distance, we have our first views of the Landscape Arch. You definitely want to go on a little closer. If this is your final turnaround point though, there's a fence down there. You can get pretty close, but not quite up underneath it. From the signage there, it's just a short 1/10 of a mile on over here to the final viewing area for Landscape Arch. Beyond that, the Primitive trail continues on around. And this is Landscape Arch with a span of about 306 feet or 93 meters. Up until 1991, you could actually walk up to it. But a big 60-foot section came tumbling down, and this is as far as you can go now. So from Landscape Arch, it's going to be an additional 1.1 miles up to 00, 4 miles on around back to the trailhead. Trail does get quite a bit more difficult from here. It's not too bad, it's just more challenging, that's for sure. This is a short spur over to Partition and Navajo Arch. It doesn't really matter which one of these two you go to first. They're just both quick in and out hikes. And then you'll be headed back to the main trail to continue on up to 00 Arch. We're arriving here at Navajo Arch. And that was Navajo Arch. We're going to continue our hike on over, pick up the short segment over to Partition Arch, and then get back on the main trail over to Double O Arch, and eventually on up to Dark Angel. We're headed over on this short spur to Partition Arch. It's a kind of cool arch that sits up high and overlooks the valley. That'll do it for Partition Arch. I'm gonna head back over to the main trail, head up to Double O Arch, and then on to Dark Angel, I believe is the next stop. Once you get off the fin there, there's going to be a quick short spur over here to your right to Black Arch Overlook. You don't get anywhere close to it, but come over here and sit where those people are at, and you can certainly see it from there. As we approach Double O Arch here, we'll be getting into the heart of what is known as Devil's Garden. It's the area from where the trail takes its name. Trail continues just a short bit on down this rock formation down here. It takes a hard left and takes us over and down to Double O Arch. That'll do it for Double O Arch. I'm gonna head on up to Dark Angel. It's not an arch, but it's a cool rock formation. We'll see you in a few minutes. So from Double O Arch, you have the option of continuing on to Dark Angel, which is a spur of its own. That's going to be an additional mile or 1.6 kilometers round trip. Or you can continue on the Primitive Trail, 3 miles or 4.8 kilometers back around. It does get more difficult from here. If you want to take the easy way out, you can go back the way you came, 2 miles or 3.2 kilometers. We've reached Dark Angel here at the end of the spur, just about a half mile up here. Now we're going to head back, hit the rest of the Primitive Trail, and it'd be about 4.5 miles, I guess, from here out to the trailhead, according to the signage. We'll see how accurate that is. It's getting to be a little after 5 o'clock. I didn't get started very early today. It was after lunch there, and I've spent a lot of time just kind of waiting around and trying to get some good shots. So it might be getting close to dark by the time we get back, but anyway, we're having a good time. That's the important thing, and it's a beautiful day out here. I thought maybe it was gonna rain, but that's held off. We're back up here to where the trail splits. We're going to continue on around the loop, the primitive trail. If you believe government numbers, fuzzy math, 3 miles or 4.8 kilometers back to the trailhead. I'm not real clear if they are calling the trailhead the Devil's Garden parking lot, or if they're starting those mileages there by Landscape Arch. But anyway, the trail does truly get more difficult from here. There's some pretty steep sections down some solid rock face that could prove a little tricky for some people, or everybody if it was wet or icy. We're here at the intersection for Private Arch. It's a short 0.3 miles or 0.5 kilometers over there. Just a short walk over here and you'll arrive at Private Arch. That was Private Arch, the last of the arches on the loop. We're gonna head back to the main trail, continue on around, back towards the Devil Garden trailhead. Just to give you an idea how far I've been so far, I've got 7.5 miles, or about 13 kilometers, of what's supposed to be about, what, an 8-mile trail. So yeah, that's gonna be a little inaccurate. I don't think that counts like all these little spurs, for one thing. And anyway, it is a great trail. It's probably my favorite trail in the park. The hardest trail, I guess, but you get to see the most things. So it's rewarding. As you continue on around the primitive trail here, you're going to encounter this steep section of slick rock. You can see more than a few people slid down it. As long as you got good grip of shoes though, you'll be all right. So don't let it intimidate you. I'm working my way around the Devil's Garden primitive loop here. It's getting to be about 7 o'clock, so the sun's starting to get fairly low behind me. Shadows are getting kind of long. Should be getting fairly close to being back over here towards Landscape Arch and the main trail. take us on back out once we reach Landscape Arch. It's about 1 mile on back to the parking lot. Once you finish working your way down through the wash there, you kind of got to come back up. I mean, you do have to come back up. It's kind of a steep section there. It's not too far through it, but it'll definitely get your blood pumping. The sweat, probably can't see that for the shadow, but plenty warm it up. Excellent view of the LaSal Mountains off in the distance there as we work our way back over here towards the main trail by Landscape Arch. That's going to wrap it up for the Devil's Garden Loop. I had right at 10.5 miles, or just under 17 kilometers round trip. Definitely more than the 8 miles that they say the route is. I've done it before and it's never 8 miles if you do all the spurs, but just plan on about 10.5 and it's worth it. I sure hope you enjoyed the hike. I know I did. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my future videos. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video to let me know. Thanks for joining me and have a good day.